She was just 6 years old. Bright blue eyes, golden curls, and a smile that could melt even the coldest heart. JonBenét Ramsey wasn't just a child. She was a daughter, a sister, a princess in pageant tiaras, glittering on stage under the spotlight, full of life, laughter, and innocence. But beneath the sparkle of rhinestones and holiday cheer, a horror was about to unfold that would captivate, confuse, and devastate an entire nation. On Christmas night, 1996, in the quiet affluence of Boulder, Colorado, evil crept into the Ramsey home. And by morning, JonBenét was gone, murdered in her own house, with a chilling ransom note, a bungled crime scene, and a trail of suspicion that never found its true target. To this day, a killer walks free. This is the story of JonBenét Ramsey, a case that reveals the cracks in justice, the darkness within families, and a question that still haunts America. Who killed JonBenét? It was supposed to be a magical night. December 25th, 1996. The Ramsey family had just returned from a holiday party. Inside their lavish home on 15th Street, twinkling lights glowed, and presents lay unwrapped under the tree. JonBenét had gone to bed excited, like any child on Christmas. But by morning, everything had changed. At 5:52 a.m., Patsy Ramsey, JonBenét's mother, called 911 in a frantic, trembling voice. "We have a kidnapping. She's gone. There's a note, a ransom note." The note is one of the most bizarre ever found in a criminal investigation. 2.5 pages long. Handwritten, demanding $118,000, the exact amount of John Ramsey's Christmas bonus. It began with a chilling message. "Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction." It instructed the Ramseys not to call the police, but they already had. The note was oddly specific, almost theatrical, and it raised countless red flags. Why was it so long? Why was it written in the Ramsey home? Why such an unusual ransom amount? Even more unsettling, handwriting experts couldn't conclusively rule out Patsy Ramsey as the author. Was the note real? Or was it part of a staged cover-up? From the very beginning, the investigation was mishandled. The Boulder Police Department, inexperienced with homicides, especially ones involving high-profile families, made critical errors. They didn't secure the house. Friends of the Ramseys were allowed to walk through the home, contaminating potential evidence. Officers didn't search the entire property immediately. 7 hours after the initial 911 call, John Ramsey made a chilling discovery in the basement. There, in a small windowless room behind a latched door, lay the lifeless body of JonBenét. She was wrapped in a white blanket. Duct tape covered her mouth. A cord was around her neck. Her hands were bound, and there was a garrote, fashioned from a paintbrush, used to strangle her. The medical examiner would later find a skull fracture, signs of strangulation, and indications of possible sexual assault. The horror of the scene sent shockwaves through the nation. But the worst was yet to come. As the media descended upon Boulder, so too did public suspicion. Many believed the answer wasn't outside the house, but within. John, Patsy, and even JonBenét's 9-year-old brother Burke were suddenly under scrutiny. There were no signs of forced entry. The ransom note used phrases from popular movies like Speed and Dirty Harry. Why would a kidnapper kill JonBenét if they were demanding ransom? Patsy, many claimed, was acting oddly calm on camera. John's behavior was called too composed. And Burke, he appeared eerily unaffected. Rumors swirled. Did Patsy snap after JonBenét wet the bed? Did Burke accidentally harm her in a sibling quarrel? Were the parents covering up an accident? Theories piled up, but evidence was lacking. And still, no one was arrested. The case exploded in the media. JonBenét's pageant photos, dressed in sequins, makeup, and curls, were broadcast worldwide. Was America watching the loss of a child, or the performance of a tragedy? TV specials, tabloids, conspiracy theories, they all fed a nation obsessed. In 1999, a grand jury voted to indict John and Patsy Ramsey for child endangerment and obstructing an investigation. But the district attorney refused to prosecute, citing lack of proof. Then, in 2008, the Ramseys were formally exonerated by DNA evidence found in JonBenét's underwear, traced to an unknown male. Still, doubts linger. DNA can be transferred. Mistakes can be made. And the killer, it seems, knew that. In 2016, 20 years after the murder, CBS aired the case of JonBenét Ramsey, a docuseries that reignited controversy. Their panel of experts suggested Burke, then 9, could have struck JonBenét with a flashlight during a sibling altercation. They speculated the parents then staged the scene to protect their son. Burke later sued CBS for defamation and received a confidential settlement. To this day, Burke maintains he had nothing to do with his sister's death. Was it a botched kidnapping? An intruder who crept in through the basement window? A neighbor? A family friend? Or was it, as some believe, an accident tragically hidden by a desperate family? Dozens of books have been written. Experts disagree. And yet, no arrest has ever been made. JonBenét would have been 34 years old today. A woman. A life lived. Instead, she remains forever 6, frozen in memory, a portrait of innocence lost. Nearly 3 decades have passed since JonBenét was murdered. But her case remains unsolved, a cold trail through a storm of questions. We may never know who wrote that ransom note, who tied the garrote, who extinguished the life of a little girl who only wanted to dance. What we do know is this: a child was stolen from the world, and justice still hasn't found her. Until it does, the mystery of JonBenét Ramsey will remain one of America's darkest shadows. This was True Crime Hub. If you believe JonBenét deserves justice, share her story. Someone, somewhere, knows the truth.